Well, today's the day. It's a beautiful morning, nice and sunny. It was a bit chilly earlier on, but it's warmed up nicely. And Roy and I are setting off to start our adventure on the Wild Atlantic Way. We are going to be going south first of all in order to go north. We've arranged to meet some friends, in fact, down near the south coast. So we're going to go there for the weekend. It's Friday morning this morning, so we're going to go down there for the weekend. And then on Monday, we're going to be leaving the south coast, making our way across country up into Wales and eventually to Fishguard, where our ferry takes us across to Ireland on the early hours of Wednesday morning. And that's from Fishguard to Rosslare. So yeah, the adventure starts today, but as I say, we are heading south first. Putting the last stickers on his van before we leave, making it all look good. Roy and I have just arrived at Mill Road in Arundel. It's a place I've stayed at many times and stayed overnight, but unfortunately they've now made some restrictions, and although you can stay during the day, there's signs to say you can't stay between 10 at night and 9 in the morning, I think it is. So you can see you've got wonderful views out over the countryside, lovely little stream, yeah, plenty of bird life. So we're out taking a walk along the South Downs Way, or part of the South Downs Way. So Arundel is a very touristy place, and the Arundel Castle attracts huge numbers of visitors, and we were lucky enough to see these people outside welcoming people in. And then, having walked past the Arundel Bowls Club, we got invited in to see if we'd like to have a little try, which we did. Great fun. So, good morning. So I'm waking up to a bit more of an overcast morning this morning here in Arundel. Spent the last couple of nights here with friends, which has been really good. Yeah, just enjoyed a relaxing couple of days. It was good to meet up with friends. This morning I'm going to be setting off really the start of the Irish trip, because I'm going to be leaving Arundel this morning and eventually to Fishguard tomorrow. And then I've got the ferry on the early hours of Wednesday morning. So yeah, I'm keen to get up there now, itching to get started. It's just after lunch, just leaving Arundel to make my way up towards Wales. It's been a bit of a changeable day today, weather-wise. It started off quite bright. They did say a little bit of rain, although we haven't seen any, and the sun's out at the moment, but it is a bit of an overcast sky. I'm just coming across the Prince of Wales Bridge. It takes me into Wales. As I said, there's a really strong wind blowing, getting buffeted all over the place, and we had some really heavy rain not so long ago, but that's stopped fortunately. But yeah, it's pretty windy. So almost on the other side of the bridge, and I'll be in Wales. I've still got about 130 odd miles to go to get to Fishguard, but getting on a bit now. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would take. Traffic's been a bit slow moving. There's been lots and lots of roadworks as well. So, good morning. So I'm now just on the outskirts of Cardiff. Excuse me. Yesterday afternoon I left Arundel, where I'd been for the last few days, with friends, and took the drive through cross country up into Wales, crossing the Prince of Wales Bridge. So this morning I'm going to make my way up towards Fishguard. A couple of hours drive maybe in the motorhome. There's 2 or 3 big parking areas quite close to the port, so I'll find one of those. I think there's one that's quite large and also got a supermarket and bits and pieces close to it, so that'll be handy to get a few last minute bits and pieces. So I'm about 16-17 miles from Fishguard at the moment. I'm stuck in traffic. The rain continues. So yeah, it's a pretty miserable day really. So I eventually arrived in Fishguard, managed to find a large park up with a little supermarket and almost next door, which was great. And it was also sold LPG in the garage that was attached to it, so I managed to top up with gas as well, so that was great. So basically we just knuckled down and got a little bit of rest, not too much, but yeah, we had to make our way across to the port for midnight, as our crossing was at 1:30 in the morning, so we weren't going to get a lot of sleep. But so eventually it came time for us to drive across to the port to catch the ferry. That was around midnight, and yeah, it was a pretty smooth crossing. It took about 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, but when we arrived in Rosslare, we just were so tired. We just literally drove a kilometre or so along the road, and we found a park up where we could spend a couple of hours just dozing, really, getting a little bit of breakfast and just having to relax before moving on. And then we just made our way a bit further along the coast, and found our first park up for the night. Things were looking good. We've arrived in Ireland. We took the ferry last night from Fishguard in Wales, and travelled across to Rosslare. It took us a little over 4 hours, the crossing, and to be honest, it was a good crossing, despite the wind blowing quite strongly. Yeah, it was quite a good crossing. So this is our first park up in Ireland. We came into Rosslare in the early hours of this morning, and yeah, it was really quite sunny and nice. And then we've driven along the coast and found this park up, and yeah, we're going to start making a few plans from here. Obviously we're going to be heading further south. It really is very windy today. Hardly hold the camera still. But yeah, it's beautiful views out from where we're parked up. Give you some idea just to watch the grasses the way they're blowing. It's incredible. So last night we parked up along the Copper Coast, and this is one of the Copper Coast geomarks. This is where we parked up last night, Bratton Head, part of the Copper Coast. I'll just zoom in a little bit. So after parking up for the night last night and catching up with some sleep, we started to make our way down the coast, and the first big place we came to was Kinsale. A really strange place, very touristy, but as you'll see in a moment, some vivid colours. So we've had to stop for lunch, and this is Timlig Abbey behind me. Yeah, good stop for lunch. See the road bends around there where the campers are, but it's right along this water course. Beautiful views out of the countryside. Yeah, so this is Timlig Abbey. Very imposing building, obviously derelict now. On a super position. This is looking at a different aspect of the abbey. So Timlig Abbey is a 13th century Franciscan abbey in the village of Timlig. And that's on the south coast of the county of Cork, near Cork MacSherry. Hope I'm pronouncing these right. Amazing, just all of these gravestones. And yet it almost appears as if we're inside the abbey. Just a labyrinth of little tiny passageways, and we look up. The abbey itself was founded back in the 13th century, but it was on the site of a 6th century monastic settlement which was founded originally by St Molliger, after whom the village is named. The Irish for House of Molliger is actually Ty Molliger. This is the view from inside the abbey looking out over the water. So our park up for tonight. You can see there's a few other campers here. Yeah, this was a great park up with some fantastic views out to sea. In fact, yeah, the name Wild Atlantic Way says it all really. Just an amazing experience so far, and we've only been a couple of days, so it can only get better. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. See you on the next one. Thanks again.